feel like I need to at least wait a second. What's going on, everyone? I'm Chris Baker.
And I'm Ty Backer.
Welcome to episode 103 of Behind the Tool Belt with TC Backer Construction.
TC Backer. Roofing, siding, windows, gutters, solar. Roofing, siding, windows, gutters, solar. TC Backer, TC Backer.
We are live.
TC Backer family.
Episode 103. So there was something that we totally dropped the ball on last week.
Did we?
Yes. So we're exactly 2 years and 1 week into this. Last week was our, 102nd episode, which would make 52. No, I'm sorry. We're a week short.
I was going to let you go.
Son of a bitch. Listen, I was
Next
super
week.
excited. Listen, I was super excited because I had my math goofed up a little bit, but I was so super excited.
Yeah.
But I still want to talk
Yeah.
about the distance that we've
Yes,
came.
that was good practice because next week we are
Yes.
not going to forget that
Yes,
shit now.
but I kept forgetting there, I guess, a week or so, and I thought, for whatever reason, I don't know if it was the 102, like 52 times 2 thing, you had me thrown off a little bit, but anyhow.
Absolutely.
But think about this. So we're 1 week away from 2 years of doing this. And I was thinking a little bit, and I said something a little bit earlier about on the we were talking about something on the monitor going on there, and how and where we started, and where we started at.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm going to say his name, Shane DeGarry. We started in his basement.
Yeah.
And I remember how terrified I was. I mean, I was freaking terrified.
I remember riding in your truck over there, man, for our first ever episode.
We would haul ass over there, and drink, I don't know how many Red Bulls, to try to get jacked up. And then I was like, okay, I can't drink Red Bulls before the show anymore because I was just entirely too jacked up.
Now I'm anxious and jacked up.
Yeah, right. So, I was trying to find, that perfect recipe where, I would still have enough energy after working, all day long to try to be somewhat presentable on live Facebook. You know what I mean? But I was terrified, and Shane was a great mentor.
Dude, absolutely.
When it came to this. And Shane taught us a valuable lesson, at least for me, taught me a valuable lesson that it's really, whatever's going through your head and whatever you think really just isn't that important.
Right.
You know what I mean? We're here to have fun.
Right.
You know what I mean? If we start 10 minutes early, 3 minutes late, it's just, there's no time crunch. Yeah, we start around 7-ish every Wednesday night. You know what I mean? And here we are at episode 103. Which is just, I think they say the average podcaster lasts 7 episodes. Okay,
Oh, wow.
so we've quadrupled that times 5.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you know what I mean? So that's amazing. I mean, it really is amazing, and I still have juice in my legs to continue to want to do this week in and week out. And there for a while, I know there was a struggle for us. Man, what are we going to talk about tonight? And the content. It was I was looking around the shop
dude.
Okay, we're going to talk about when this.
We gotta do something.
You know
something.
what I mean? The last 5 minutes before the show, it was all right, just go live. We got this.
Right.
What are we
Figure it
talking
out.
about? I don't know.
And
It
some
doesn't
of our
matter.
best episodes happen that way,
Absolutely.
man. And we've come to realize that as long the number one thing is to be authentic, man. Be authentic.
Big time.
And everything else just kind of follows suit. We've been blessed with some excellent guests.
Yes.
We got 2 good ones tonight.
Dude, think about the friends that we've made through this, and the networking, and the people we met. David Bruno. Okay, we met him at the home show. We were going live. We've had him on the show
Numerous times, yeah.
At least 3 times.
At least 3 times.
Diane Brooks, which is a Facebook friend and has become a colleague and a friend. I mean, the list goes on of
Right.
just what this has done. But I didn't mean to cut you off. I felt like you were on.
Dude, I don't even remember. I was just saying hi to the Facebook family.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone for tuning in once again.
Heck yes.
As Ty said, some of you guys have literally witnessed us and watched us grow. 102 episodes. You're about to watch your 103rd episode.
And you almost let me look like an idiot.
I
Don't know how to do math.
I was letting you
something.
live,
Like, you
bro.
were
Because
totally
listen,
gonna
you
let
were
me do
so
that.
sure of yourself, and I
was.
was like,
He was.
Well, because
Wait a
I don't
minute.
want to forget.
Am I wrong?
Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to forget because, like, dude, we almost got to have, like, something happen, like, that evening, like a special
there are no
episode.
redos, man.
No.
There's no
not.
redos.
You
know?
can't take it back.
That is
Vic,
up
rewind
forever.
that.
That is up forever.
Can you rewind that? Cut
that out.
cut that part
Live.
out. You know what I mean? But that's what's
live.
cool and that's what's authentic and this
Right.
is what's genuine about what we do and we're not afraid to do it.
Yeah.
And it, like you said today in one of the comments, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it.
Dude, absolutely, man,
You know?
absolutely. And there's so much that goes on in my life these days that I have to remember that, and that kind of helps push through some days. Some days when your feet hit the ground, you're not as motivated as other days. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And it's
it
like,
happens. You're tired.
look, no, it's not easy, and today's probably not going to be easy. There's some days you dread getting up and going to do something that you know is going to suck or whatever. And it's like, obviously there's a reason that we're doing this.
For
We
sure.
always have somebody that is relying on us, or whether it's a homeowner, whether it's a coworker.
Heck yes.
There's always someone or something relying on us to show up, suit up.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And put your best foot forward. So
Yes.
and it's a perfect saying, man. If it was easy, everyone would do this, and it's not pretty sometimes. Our industry, especially this time of year, it sucks sometimes, man. It's cold out.
Yeah.
Going out and seeing the guys in the field, I got to see some of the guys today. They look cold, man. And today actually really wasn't even that bad, but
There wasn't
Well, and the
yeah.
thing is, the products that we use too aren't the most easiest to work with when the temperatures get colder.
No.
I mean, the shingles get more difficult to cut, and,
Right.
and it seems like the bundles are heavier. I don't know
Yeah.
what it is. Like when they're stiff as a board like that early in the
Right.
morning, and there's frost on top. I don't miss those days, nor do I forget those days
Right.
of getting to a roof job in the morning and there's frost on top of the bundles, let alone on the roof, trying to get on the roof.
Yep.
And nobody cares.
jumping
that, like,
from sunspot to sunspot.
Right, that's what I was getting ready to say. Nobody cares. Like they just need it done. Nobody thinks about that. Like they need it done. They want it done for
Right.
whatever reason. And it's like, look, we can't necessarily get on your roof right now. It's like, why weren't you here at 7:00 this morning, or whatever? But
Right.
there's little things that go into play here that if you would understand what it is that we have to go through, it's not that we don't want to do your job. It's like, but the sun's not on that side of the house yet.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? To melt
Yeah.
the frost. And I remember I slid off a roof one time, and as I was giving someone shit, like, man, it's safe as a sidewalk. Okay, and no sooner I went to step off the ladder onto the roof on the wet felt paper, dude, I went on my ass. And I mean quick.
Yep.
Real
Dude,
super
it is.
quick.
It's like ice, man.
Super quick, man. And it's no joke. It is no joke
Right.
what we do, no doubt. And then siding. Let's talk about how brittle siding is. Not that we can't install any of the materials that we install all year round.
Yep.
But it's more difficult. It's more time consuming, and it's more time consuming.
Right.
You know what I mean? It takes longer. We can't schedule as quickly and as often as we would like because the guys are moving slow in the morning.
Right.
You know what I mean? To get to the job site, and it's like no motivation to get out of the nice warm truck. Get the ladder off the truck, your hands are freezing. It's like, and if you're not used to those elements and know how to dress,
Right.
you know what I mean? That's the
Oh
big
yeah.
thing. Trying
It's
to
gonna
find
be a
that,
long day.
listen, to try to find that right recipe of how many, and how to wear those layers. That's key.
Oh, absolutely. You learn really quick that it is much easier at 10 o'clock in the morning to take 2 layers off and put your sweatshirt back on
Yes.
and be comfortable again
Than to find
than it
them.
is to get there and be like, I'm freezing my butt off for the first 3 hours today. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? Because honestly, I don't know how you guys are, but once my hands and my feet get cold, I'm ruined.
It's
You know what I
tough.
mean? It's
It's
like,
tough.
Same way.
I'm ruined, man. And-
tough.
When my hand gets cold.
when your hand,
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Good on but I tell you what we used to do when it snowed, we'd have a snowball battle. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
like all of that goes away.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's like my boots are wet, my hands are like, I haven't wore gloves for the past 3 hours because you can't really pack a good snowball with gloves on
Yep.
or have accuracy in throwing them.
Yeah.
So
Right.
then what's the problem? Get your ass to work. You could play. I'm just kidding. But I'm serious. Like at those times,
Dude, absolutely.
you know what I mean? We would find a way to have fun and make the day better.
Yes, dude. I remember me and Brandon worked on a warehouse. Shout out Brandon at our first place that we worked together. We used to do commercial roofing, and we'd install 2 million square foot roofs and stuff. And I remember we came in on a Monday, and our whole crew got chewed out because over the weekend, the boss went to the job site to go check some stuff, and he found an igloo, a snowman, all kinds of stuff up on this roof.
What exactly were you guys doing?
Yeah, what were you guys doing up there? It's like, it happens. But, keeping the camaraderie up and doing anything that you can to have fun because, I'll tell you firsthand, nothing is worse than somebody sitting there pointing out how much it sucks all day.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You get that guy that's like just tells you all day how much it sucks, and it's like, dude, I know.
I was getting ready to say, it's like, okay, I know that.
Yeah, I'm standing here too. It sucks.
Yes, I know. But at least I wore good boots today.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? And that makes a difference. Finding that right, like boots. And finding if you're doing roofing, so it's like, okay, you got to find something warm enough, but yet something that's still light enough, and that you can feel the roof with your foot.
Right.
Does that make sense?
It 100%
that was one of my
makes
things.
sense.
Like I couldn't have a real thick sole
Right.
when I was on the roof. I needed to kind of like the balls of my feet still needed to feel that roof.
Yeah, because you got to almost walk like a ninja, man.
Yeah,
you
know
got to
what I
stay
mean?
on your toes and stuff.
Right.
Second
right.
you get flat-footed,
See, we didn't
that's
have,
when you get hurt.
We didn't have those cougar paws that y'all got today.
I ain't never ever used one, man.
You're
I'm a Jordan
cougar paw
guy.
kind of guy, aren't you?
No, I'm a Jordan guy. I like to wear Jordans.
I
on the roof.
Vans all the day. Airwalks
Yep.
back in the day was the shiznit when I was roofing, and then Vans have always been around, but Airwalk seemed to be like the thing back in the day that we used to walk on the roofs.
Yep. Skateboard shoes. I mean, they are super comfortable, and they have that nice flat bottom that you have lots
I
of
definitely
contact.
won't shy away from a pair of cougar paws, though. So. I'm not above those.
So you're a cougar paw kind of guy, huh?
Oh yeah.
He's a go home safe every night kind of guy.
That's right. But listen, I've never tried them, but I often thought about getting a couple pairs because there's been, I would say, over the past 3 years, there's been 2 sketchy ass roofs where it was almost like call the fire department.
I'm not coming down to that ladder. I'm sitting right here.
Like call the fire. I was like, God, how
Dude,
did
isn't it always so much steeper going back down than it is?
Dude, how did I used to do that?
How did I get up here again?
Like, how did I used to do that every day?
I was just up on a roof 3 weeks ago, and you can't tell, but I wear cowboy boots every day.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with the cowboy boots getting up.
What?
It's coming back down. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So
I would
I
imagine.
had to sit in this valley, put my butt down with my one hand, try to like support myself sliding down, and I ended up I kind of like took like a skateboard or snowboard stance and just like slid down.
Yeah, bro.
And I was like
How you do
super
it?
scared. I was super scared.
Listen, in hopes that the neighbors don't see you or the homeowner. Listen, and I think that's the worst part of it.
Right. It's so embarrassing.
You know,
man.
I'm the owner. I'm out there. I get the ladder off the truck. I zip
what
on
are
up
you guys
the roof.
doing?
So it's
Watch
like
me
I
fall?
see them down there and they're talking to me. It's like, oh, I'm on a phone call. you know what I mean? It's like, dude, and for real, it's like I can't get the fuck off this roof.
Yeah, man.
Seriously, I don't even know what I'm going to do right now. I remember I called Bob one day. It started to rain when I was up on a roof, and it was sketchy to begin with.
Yeah.
When I got up there, and I climbed out the dormer window. Okay, and scurried up. It was like this horrible hip roof, man, and the shingles were just disintegrating under my feet. And then it started to rain. After I got up there, I was like standing on the peak of the dormer to try to like get good eye of everything. Well, I could not get myself around. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like I just, for the life of me, finally I did it. Bob showed up. Bob came to the rescue. All he could do was stick his big head out the window. Like I couldn't even see him. He's like, "I got you, buddy. I got you. Just come down here. I got you." You know what I mean? And that's
Put a
nice
hand out
because
to try
I
and
know
catch
he
you.
could relate. That's why I called him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He
Yeah,
wasn't
it
going to
sucks,
make
man.
fun of me nor talk shit behind my back.
Yeah.
Even though he probably did, but if he did,
In hindsight.
yeah.
You didn't
Yeah,
hear it.
once you were okay.
Right. Yes. Yeah. I
yeah,
laughed
that's
about it
classic.
then, but at that time I was like, dude, I don't know. You might have to call the fire department, yo, because I cannot get my ass off this roof,
Dude,
man.
they're getting steeper and steeper and steeper, man.
It was horrible.
Right.
It was in
You know,
New York City,
yeah.
big 3.5-story hip roof. I mean, disintegrated like those interlocking hurricane shingles that are like on top of 4 other layers.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, literally only nailed to other shingles.
Yes. Yeah, dude. Like they were
Not
just,
even hitting decking.
I don't even know why I got up there.
Yeah.
Like for real.
I feel nervous just
Maybe to
talking
see if
about
I still had it.
Yeah, some of the roofs that they're putting together
I
these
don't.
days, man, the architecture and stuff. You know, you basically
Love
have
the
to
honesty.
have to be a mountain goat to climb some of these things sometimes.
Yeah,
man.
for
They're
real.
steep. They are steep.
Seriously.
So,
That's crazy.
Well, that was fun.
Yes,
that was
it
fun.
was.
Some old experience there, man.
Yeah.
Any roofers out there? Hopefully, you guys had a good laugh and
Can
can relate.
maybe, hopefully.
I think all of us sitting here have had a moment that it's like, that was almost really bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So we got two of our salesmen here, Bucky, Staub. I don't know if you guys remember him. I don't know, probably 20-ish episodes ago.
20, 30 episodes ago.
We
Yeah.
had you on here.
Something like
This is our newest salesman, Ben. These guys are both killing the game.
Oh, yeah.
I'd like to talk a little bit about door knocking because I'm pretty sure that is, we've had a couple really good nationwide good door knockers
Right.
Yes.
on our show.
They have
two-
met them personally.
Right, David Taggart, Roof Poppy,
Yep.
and Deshaun Bryant, the Roof Hustler.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
those are some of the best in the business.
Yep.
We've had them on here, and we've talked a little bit about the untapped market that we'll call it in the Pennsylvania area. And when I say untapped, it's because coming up here, we don't have the insurance game like they do down in Texas, down in Florida.
Right.
Down in Kentucky, where all these windstorms. Shout out anyone in Kentucky that has
Yeah,
any kind
for
of
real.
family members out there.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
The devastation that happened down there. But David said it best. He goes door knocking. People basically wait for somebody to come
Yeah,
knock on their
they're
door.
seasoned. The homeowners are
Yes,
seasoned.
they know it's every 2-3 years someone's going to come get them a new roof. Like they don't pay for roofing down there. They pay deductibles. That's it. So
Yeah.
up here we got to kind of play it a little bit different because not every house that you go on are you looking for hail damage. I mean, obviously you're probably looking.
Yeah,
But to get the number of hits in a 10x10 area up here is a lot more uncommon than it is down there.
It happens.
Right, it does happen, but it's not one of them things where homeowners are waiting and expecting somebody to come
Like,
get them.
we
a
just
new
get
roof.
like small pockets of
Right.
it. We won't get like entire areas
Right.
or half the state.
Yes.
Doesn't get covered with it. And then we'll have our occasional like tornado touchdowns and stuff. And I
Yeah.
think I talked,
tree damage and that kind of
yeah,
stuff.
I talked
right.
about something a while back about it was March or April. When's Easter?
April.
April.
Usually, yeah.
So it was the Saturday or maybe it was Sunday where we had a big hail/windstorm come through, and we went live. We were supposed to be closed, I think, but I went live on somebody's roof.
I remember
because
that.
wow.
Actually, I remember that.
They had storm damage. Basically, the reason why I did that is two reasons. Was just for the storm damage part of it, hey, and to let y'all know that we're still open, kind of thing, and not
Yeah.
to change subject, but that was probably one of the very easiest successful insurance claim process that I believe I ever went through. But I could tell you what the game changer was about that is when I was there, the wind was still blowing and the shingles were still flapping, and I videoed all of it, like documented it step by step. I didn't do pictures because pictures can be, to me, manipulated.
Right.
You zoom in on that blister, it might look like a hail hit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But if you're videotaping everything, and like lifting up whole piles of shingles that's only glued together, and all of the staples, this roof happened to be stapled down. It was like a manufactured home, and there was areas missing, so I was able to document it like really good. As soon as
happening.
right, I sent that to the homeowner. They sent it to the insurance company, and it was like, okay.
Yeah.
But then there was depreciation. Their deductible was really high. So, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about how it was like a $10,000 roof. Their deductible was $5,000. This was right when everything was closed down. I don't think anybody was used to working from home yet. So like nobody was working.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? Well, what we ended up doing is we accommodated what they needed. We got creative with it. So we financed $2,500 for them towards their $5,000 deductible, and then she made two $1,250 payments on two separate credit cards.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
To make this happen. And I'm saying that for anybody who's listening, if you guys offer financing or receive credit cards, and for you guys and for our coworkers that are listening, like there are things that we can do to accommodate whatever the situation is. They
creative.
needed a roof on their house, and we were there. We were like their knight in shining armor and helped them out and came through for them and sold them a lifetime roof.
Yep.
And they went to sell their house, and at the settlement table, because for whatever reason they lost their GAF paperwork, we were able to send it to them, and she felt so good about how she could slide that across the table at the settlement table to the expected home buyers. Do you know what I mean? So how cool is that?
Yeah,
so
that's
just
awesome.
a little
awesome.
something to maybe
Exactly.
put in the back of your mind
Yep.
when you're out door knocking, not to take away
Yeah.
the spotlight of, because I think what we really want to know, we'll do an introduction. I felt like you missed the last time that we had our in-home sales consultants
Yeah.
here. So I kind of felt bad for that, and I think you may have been here, but the first night that you were on was your first day, and I don't even think you knew you were hired yet. I think you were the last one to know that
I
you were
think so.
hired.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was hired, but he didn't know he was hired yet.
Right.
Which was kind of cool, and that was the same night that you found out that
he
you
was
Yeah,
my
we
guys
cousin.
found out that we were cousins.
had
weird.
the same
And we
dad.
found out, like,
Oh,
10
I thought
minutes
you guys
before
were
the
the same
show.
dad and were like twin brothers or some
No.
shit.
Nah, man.
Oh, are you sure?
Yeah, pretty sure.
Oh, that's
He's got
yes.
it.
He's got
Yes.
two arms. Okay, sorry. So he's your right hand man.
I love
Yeah.
it.
Like-
No,
I'm
he's
his
my
right-hand
right-hand
man.
man.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't be his
keep
right-hand
getting
man.
confused.
Yeah,
You guys
yeah.
got me.
Yeah, it's all
What's that?
good.
Laurel
It's
and
all
Hardy. Who's
Yeah,
on
it's all
first?
good.
Yeah, who's on
It's all
first?
good.
Okay.
Who's
We
on
like
first?
to stay one step ahead of everyone.
Right on.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So let's get down to the nitty gritty here. What's your experience been like? How?
Yeah,
like,
because you're out knocking doors, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I am, and it's the experience has been. I really thought I was going to experience more like doors slammed in my face. Kind of is what I was expecting.
Right.
And honestly, I haven't really gotten that. And the reason I feel it's successful is because I approach it in the manner of how can I be of service to you? Right? I'm not here to sell you anything. I happen to see that your roof is falling apart, and we have services that we can offer you to the best of our ability to get you this lifetime roof so you can stop worrying about it at night.
Right on.
And I'm not here. I lay out your options in front of you. I say, here are your choices. Here's the good, better, best. This is what this comes with, blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
And this is why I think you should choose this one, or this one. Why don't you tell me what you think? And I actually stop and listen. I listen
Yeah.
to what they have to say. And then respond.
Right.
Instead of being,
Yes.
it's just, how can I be of service to you? You tell me what's wrong with your home. And I'll tell you what we can do to fix it. And that's
Right.
it. And then I build this friendship with them. And I mean, yeah, I'm on my laptop till 9 o'clock at night answering phone calls, text messages through our
Right.
system that we have that customers can reach out to us on. Does it make me busy? Yes. But does it make what we have valuable? 1,000,000%.
Absolutely.
Hands
Yeah, man.
down.
Yes.
Hands down, I feel like the people who I interact with want to come to us because they know they're going to be treated like family and not a number.
Right.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's all it is to me is I'm trying to be. I try to stay in this place of how can I be of service to you.
Right.
That's it.
Right. Because that's lasting, man.
Yeah.
You may not. So the goal isn't necessarily to go to every house and sell them solar, sell them a brand new gold pledge warranty, sell them siding, sell them gutters, maybe get some landscaping up in there. You know what I mean?
Right.
That would be awesome.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, that'd be cool. But if the
Yes.
homeowner doesn't need that,
Right.
let's not try to sell them on that. Let's sell them on what they need.
Right.
Because the trust is built, and
Yes.
people give money to people they trust.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
absolutely.
So when it comes time that something else is needed, they're probably going to call you because they're not going to feel like you ripped them off
Or
and you were
refer
just
us.
there to get a check.
And,
Yeah.
and
You know what I
the,
mean?
the other thing I wanted to bring up was that I feel like when we interact with other human beings like that,
Yeah.
that it creates a rapport. And one really good example I thought was we had the 21 turkey salute this year again.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Definitely.
That I actually had two people that I worked with who volunteered their time to come out and spend time with our family because they felt like they were part of our family now and came out and helped us serve the community. And that's bringing it around. I mean,
Right.
that's not salesman. I'm not a salesman.
Right.
I'm
Right.
not.
Right.
How can I be of service to you?
Right.
And when I have that approach,
No.
they give
No,
it back.
we don't
How can
even
I be of
call our
service to
people.
you?
Yeah, you guys
Can I
aren't,
cook and bring
aren't
some
sales people.
Right.
by
Yeah, we're
no
not.
means, because
I'm not.
this is the difference, okay? You're not working off a commission base. Okay, you're paid salary. Okay,
Right.
first and foremost.
Right.
So that helps.
Yep.
That helps. Like, so you don't have to be so aggressive. You don't have to be a salesperson.
Right.
You can be. What's the word? What is it? What are you?
Well, we're at home care specialists.
Home
Last I checked.
care specialist, right?
Yeah.
So when you
Like
were
that.
talking, I thought you were going to start. You started to touch on the word value.
Yes.
Okay, you bring value to not just because of the products that we sell. The value is an emotional value that you give somebody.
I agree.
You let them know, hey, we got you. This is something you will not have to worry about again. Not as long as we're around or GAF is around.
Right.
You won't have to worry about this no more.
Right.
That goes so much further than our warranties. That goes
Right.
so much further than the products that we're installing or how quick we did it or how long it took us to get there or whatever.
Right.
It's that emotional value at the end of the day on that lasting impression that you've made on that person's life.
Right.
That's
I
what
agree.
we're aiming for. Do you know what I mean? We want them to be happy. We want them to be ecstatic. We want them to show their house off to their neighbors. Like, look, we got a TC Backer roof on our house.
Yeah.
That's the value.
Right.
It has nothing to do with the products. Yes, does that help? Of course it does. We've been through so much training. We just finished. Lauren called me tonight. So in order for us to keep the Master Elite status, okay, that's not such a big hurdle. But what there's layers inside of that
Right.
that also add that monetary value for the homeowner. Okay, the things that we do about there. So there's multiple different types of value. Okay, and I'm not going to try to get off track too much on the values, but what we have done is there's so many warranties we have to do. There's so many people that has to go through the training, and there's so many different criteria to hit that next level that's above Master Elite status. Okay, so what we've done, what Lauren has done, and Glenn, and you guys, and everybody, and Dingus, and everybody has worked towards, whether if they knew it or not, we've entered into the next level. It's called the Presidential Award. Okay, so we received that. We hit that 2 times, 2 years in a row. We'll then become
President's Club.
Yes,
Is it President's Club? Is what it's
the
called?
President's Club. Yes, the President's Club. Okay, so there's different layers. Yes, 5 years it took us to become a Master Elite. We jumped through all these hoops. We've been trained. They did the on-site inspections, the on-site training, and all of these hoops. And that's why I feel a lot of people don't like GAF, and I'm not going to try to go off on a tangent, but
Excellence Award. It's an
yeah,
Excellence Award.
yeah,
It's
at the
supposed to-
Excellence
Yes.
Awards. Yeah, the presidential one is the one that we're at now. If we get that for 2 years, we'll get to the excellent or whatever.
Excellence Award.
Yeah, the Excellence Award.
Yeah, sorry, I keep getting all these things mixed up because it's still somewhat kind of new to me. It's kind of like, ooh, that's interesting. That's our next goal. Let's
Yeah.
do that. Do you know what I mean? So we've hit that mark, just so you guys know. So
awesome.
at some point in time, we should receive some type of an award. But that's not just because we're not doing anything. It's because there's certain milestones that we have to hit. So many people had to be trained and receive that certificate. Do you know what I mean? They had to take that
Right.
test, the field
Right.
guide test.
Right.
They had to take it, or else we couldn't do what we're doing. We had to provide so many lifetime warranties, so many silver pledges, so many weather stops, so many gold pledges. Do you know what I mean? And that's value there. We're value and valuable,
Right.
but that emotional, to get back on that kick, that topic, that emotional connection, that emotional value, that like you touched on a little bit. You're making a friend.
Yeah.
Okay,
absolutely.
like a friend for life that's going to
Yeah.
refer you.
Right.
That's much deeper than any kind of product that necessarily that we can provide.
Right.
You know what I mean? And a lot of people, like you said, don't shut up, kind of like me right now. Don't listen to what their pains are.
Right.
Right.
What is your pains? What? Okay, yep, we got you. You don't have the money? Is your credit okay? Yep, okay, then we can offer finance. And guess what? 18 months, same as cash. You do the timing right, and I say it all the time. If you do it right, 18 months, same as cash, no prepayment penalties. Okay, that means by the time April 15th comes, you get your tax return back, put a chunk on it. Next year, by the time April 15th comes rolling around, put another chunk on it. At that time, that'll lower your payment. So at the end of 18 months, let's say you didn't put nothing down on it, and it was 9%, and your payment was $150. Well, by the time your 18-month term comes up, where you have to start making a monthly payment, and you've paid half of that off, you just dropped it down to $75 a month.
Right.
No prepayment penalty, no extra interest, no nothing.
Right.
Like, that's the things that we can do. Not just anybody can do that. Like, to be able to offer financing like that, we're not a chuck in a truck. We're not a here today, gone tomorrow kind of contractor that comes in like a storm chaser would. They're not going to offer those types of value. Yeah, they're cheap. Yes, they might be cheaper than us local guys. Okay, but once the storm damages are all cleaned up, they're heading down south. That's the advantage that we have. Hence, that what Eric talked about when he was on the show last from Roofers in Recovery, he was like, dude, give me 3 guys. Give me 3 guys out there once. We'll crush it. We'll kill it. Because he runs his company by exactly what I'm saying to you right now. He wouldn't just send 3 guys out here and leave.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? He would stay here and kill it.
Yeah.
Because he does what he says, and he's just an honest integrity.
Right.
Trying to change
That goes
the
a long
industry.
way, man. People see through the bullshit pretty easily.
Yeah.
He's trying to change the industry.
Right.
You know, and he would, and that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. Whether if you guys know it or not, we're changing the industry right now.
Lauren actually just chimed in here. We actually
the
did
excellence.
hit the excellence award. It's not presidential, so us being that 2 years,
Around.
we
Right.
we hit the excellence award. So
Thanks, Lauren.
Yes,
that is
thanks.
awesome. Yeah,
Thanks,
thank
Lauren.
you for that.
Yes.
And just to add to that, we're Google guaranteed too.
Google guaranteed. If we screw
know?
it up, Google pays.
So not only are we able to achieve these
Who would have
milestones,
thought?
but a big company like Google is basically looking at us and saying, like, look, we know that these guys are about what they say. We are willing to put our money on the line, even though ain't no one from Google ever talked
to
to us or met us.
$20,000.
You know,
Yeah.
they basically insure our work
Yeah.
up to $20,000. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
that's we ain't never talked to anyone from
Yeah.
Google.
Right,
I've never
so-
picked
right.
up the phone, and no one's ever come and inspected our work or anything like that. But you know, we've had enough excellence awards and
Yeah.
you know, being Master Elite, good reviews,
Yes.
A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. You know,
Yes.
and that is another thing that that's another feather in the hat that we don't really ever talk about.
Length,
No,
length
and
and
A+
time in
for
the area
since
too is, the
2012.
biggest, is another huge thing with that Google insurance thing. Basically, is how long we've been in business in this area, and
Right.
and just case in point with that.
Right.
It's major when it comes to
Absolutely.
backing why Google selects certain companies with whatever trade that they're doing.
Right.
It doesn't even have to be construction. It could be anything from someone, a nice grandma knitting baskets. But if she's been doing it long enough in that area and service enough people,
Right.
the back, it's a huge thing. So
It
it's a
is,
huge
yeah.
thing for us to be able
Yeah.
to provide that. Basically.
Yes,
Absolutely.
and we don't really talk about that too much, but that is a really good feather in our hat.
It
you know
is.
what I mean?
For
To
real.
add to the excellence award, the Master Elite, the
Yep.
the elite status of being able to install GAF solar. Those kinds of things. This doesn't just happen, and having hungry home consultants like yourself.
Yeah.
That just helps us put our word out there and helps us put the message out there, because you guys are out there doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You guys aren't out there saying, I need to sell 3 things today to make a paycheck to feed my family.
Right.
You guys are getting paid either way. You know
The
what I mean?
paycheck's just a bonus
Right.
at the end of the week.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Right. I agree.
for real. Because I feel like we're having a good time. You know, really. I talked to John today. It's like about what we're doing, and John's a great dude. And I'm gonna let the cat out of the bag. John's probably coming to work for us full time. I know I've talked about that for a while, but today it's official. And we were talking about the things that we've been working on, how it's been so fun trying to figure it out. To try to master that, what we've been working on.
Yeah.
Like to try to master that. Like, how cool is that?
Right.
That we get to do what we do.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, on a daily basis. And we talked about, like, the 21 turkey salute. And it's like, I don't want to say how easy this came for us, or how blessed, let's say how blessed we have been. And how less unfortunate other people have been. And that we got to give this thing away to keep it.
Right.
Okay? You know what I mean? And we practice that principle in all of our affairs. And I'm not even trying to sound corny or cheesy or whatever, but that's the God's the honest truth. You know what I mean? So when you go and knock on somebody's door, you're doing it with sincerity. Like, hey, did you know that you were missing about 15 shingles off the back of your house?
Yep.
No, I didn't, but I wondered where that water stain came from in my hallway.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
probably due to the storm that we had 2 weeks ago,
Right.
or who knows how long. You know,
Yeah.
Right.
did you know that you could potentially get a free roof through your insurance company,
Right.
or pay little to no, nothing? You know, whatever your deductible is, $500 to $1,500
Yep.
bucks.
Yeah.
You know, for that roof. A lot of people don't know that. So the education that you're providing that homeowner.
I wanted to touch base on that. Is a lot of times I feel like I'm there to educate the homeowner.
Yeah.
I actually just had this come up last Friday, right? We got a call for somebody, a storm came through and it blew off some of their aluminum siding. And I go, I show up and I'm like, do our thing. I'm talking to the homeowner and he's like, yeah, here's the siding and it blew off. And I said, have you called your homeowner's insurance yet? And he said, no, why would I do that? And I said, well, the storm just came through 2 days ago, and now you have your siding that's blowing off the end of your home. Mm-hmm. And I stood with him while he called his homeowner's insurance, and before I left, they had already scheduled for someone to come out the very next day, Saturday, to inspect the siding, and Monday he had a check for a whole new siding on that gable end of his home.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
At no cost to him other than whatever his deductible is.
Right.
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 And
Yes.
that makes me feel like it's an added value that I
Yeah.
have is
Right.
I'm not here to do it. If I believe that there's storm damage, I'm going to point it
Right.
out to you. I'm going to help you walk through all the rigmarole that the insurances make you do.
Yes.
I'm going to show up. I'm going to meet the adjuster.
Right.
And we're going to talk it out because that makes it smooth and effortless for the homeowner.
Right.
Right.
Of
I
course
kind
it
of
does.
stick to this thing that you mentioned.
You want me to
before.
tell you why they cut him a check so quick?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Did that house have Tyvek on it?
If it's got aluminum siding, I can tell you the answer is probably no.
No.
Most likely not.
Okay. So that house isn't up to code. They know that. Okay, so in a perfect world, what should have happened probably was, and I'm going to school you here a little bit, and
Yeah.
probably in front of everybody.
Please do. But
What should have happened before we put that siding on, we have to put Tyvek on that house because that's what code states today.
Right.
But that Tyvek needs to be wrapped around the corners and then be continuous onto the next wall, onto the next wall, onto the next wall. So basically what I'm trying to say
Right,
is
the whole house.
the whole house should have Tyvek on it. Hence why they cut him a check so quick before somebody that knew a little something about codes. Because I don't want to go in there and put siding on that guy's house and install Tyvek not per spec.
Right.
Or up to code. Whichever one's more stringent.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So just so you know that he potentially could have gotten all new siding put on his home.
We're in the process of working through that.
With the insurance company?
I just sent something over to him yesterday.
Okay. I just thought I would
hoping.
throw that out there. You
Yeah,
know,
I'm-
if
I'm
you would
hoping
read the
because there's
specs,
nothing-
would you agree with me on that?
Yeah.
Oh,
100%?
Absolutely.
100%.
Okay. Yeah, because I've been down that road before. Even if it was just 3 pieces of siding that came off somebody's home,
Yeah.
we've gotten them all new siding on their house.
Yeah.
Because the house
Well, I hope it works out
was
for
built back when it wasn't code that it needed a water barrier or vapor barrier
Yeah.
installed between the sheeting, the wall sheeting,
Right.
and the siding.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's actually not even that long ago.
No.
My last house was built in 03 and didn't have Tyvek on it. So
Right, and that's
it's
for
not that
anyone
long
listening,
ago
any
that got
homeowners
changed.
that are
Yeah.
listening
Yeah.
out there.
Tony had to
I
school
wasn't
me on
trying to
that.
make fun of you or anything
No,
like
you're-
that because, dude, listen, you're killing it. You picked. There's 2 things here that one, I admire the way that you picked the ball up and ran with it, dude. Hands down, you're freaking genius. The other thing is I would like to toot Lauren's horn by the process that she set up makes me feel good that the process that we do have in place
Oh, absolutely.
works.
yeah, oh, it
Do
absolutely
you
does,
understand
man.
what I'm saying? And,
Yes.
and I said complimented you first because I didn't want that to be the glaring part because a lot of it has to do with that you're willing and you're able and you have that it.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? That definitely is something we can't train. Yes, we have a system in place.
Right.
But it's no good if you don't give 2 shits.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But you really care. You believe
do.
the core values that we talk about all the time. You believe that stuff, and
Right,
it's great. I mean, that's just good stuff. And so, Ben, let's talk about Ben here, even though it'll probably be only
Let's.
5 minutes because I'll take the whole entire episode hostage here. But, Ben, give us a little background, Scoopy Poopy, on you, man. Like, what did you do before?
Poopy.
Where you,
That was
did
cute,
you,
right?
like,
Tell me
what did
that,
you
yeah.
do? You look like you were a male stripper,
Well,
like a Chippendale or something.
Chippendales.
Jesus, look at
You know
this guy.
what's messed
I
up?
need
That's
to
the
eat
third
more
time I
food.
heard that word in the last 3 days.
Dude's built like
That's
a
so weird.
freaking shithouse over here.
Yeah.
You know, I'm about 20
Well,
pounds overweight.
I
scared of him.
grew up in Michigan, so I'm not originally from
Go Blue.
Pennsylvania. Yeah, go blue, go blue.
go.
So do they breed guys that look like
I'm
you?
actually,
Is that the
I'm,
moral
where,
of the story?
where I
that you're
come
from
from,
Michigan and
where
we're
I
just-
come from, I'm a little guy actually.
Oh.
So I guess they make them bigger
Right on.
over that part. We,
Right.
we joke corn-fed guys, but
Yeah.
and
Much
then
colder over
yeah,
there, too.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. Basically been in the Dover York area for about 12 years now.
Okay.
And then background in sales is about 12 years,
Mm-hmm.
and then things such as cars, really, because when you're from Michigan, cars just make sense, and gotten to selling cars and
That
everything.
totally
So,
makes a lot of sense.
and then just as far as salesmanship goes, been in contracting sales for about 2.5, 3 years.
Awesome. So, okay, so what kind of cars did you sell? Like,
Well, I'm glad you asked. A few of them. So I started at Nissan, and then did that for a couple years, and then moved to luxury BMW, and then went to what I consider sort of the big time Audi, and sold Audi for
right.
a good 5 or 6 years. So it was a great time. That experience of selling a product such as an Audi is a little bit different than what I found personally selling, say, a Nissan or say a Chevy or a Ford or what have you. Nothing against those brands,
Nope. It
fantastic
makes
vehicles,
total
but
sense.
it's just a little bit different.
It's a
selling-
niche market.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like people go out. I feel like people that are going out to buy an Audi are going to buy an Audi.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? They,
Yeah,
they,
they're-
they have a cult, almost
Exactly.
like a following.
They're
Yes.
not going to that dealership, so to say, to because they need to need a car. Like
Right.
please give me a car so I can get to work. I want to get a fancy car to get to work. So as far as that goes, that's sort of like the main thing there. So
What was
yeah,
the
but
biggest thing that you took away from selling Audis? You know what I mean? Because I would think that they would have a huge culture and a customer service aspect that we're trying to shoot for. Like, I would like to be the Audi or the Porsche.
Right.
Like the Cadillac of
the main thing is we already nailed it down a little bit here, is actually listening and customizing that customer experience
Yes.
with the company or dealership or brand or vehicle or whatever they want to that customer's needs, to that homeowner's needs.
Yeah.
If they're talking about it, we leave no stone unturned. We ensure that everything is taken into consideration. It could be maybe the homeowner didn't think about the simple standpoint that we're going to replace your drip edge too. We're not just going to replace your shingles. Oh, and did you know that we're not going to put new shingles on top of your existing shingles? We're going to take it all down, and we're going to make sure that your decking, your plywood is proper underneath that, and then we're going to build state of the art. We're going to put state of the art material on top of that, and then
Nice.
guess what? On top of that, it just so happens that we're going to give you a 50-year warranty on your roof when we're all said and done.
Right.
Nice.
And then we're also going to ensure that throughout the process of redoing your roof that there's no messes made. We're not going to make it worse. We're actually going to improve your house.
Right.
And in and out.
in
That's-
many different ways.
Exactly. There's so many different ways because different things are more important to different people.
Absolutely.
And what's great about it, what we do is we ensure that we are available. The best ability is availability. We are
Yeah.
available to
Good
meet
one.
to basically hit that bar, no matter if we're talking to say a doctor, a brain surgeon, or if we're talking to my grandmother. It doesn't
Right.
really matter.
Yeah.
You're gonna get the exact same treatment, and you're gonna get the exact same white glove treatment.
Awesome.
I'm glad you touched on that, man.
on.
That's why Deshaun Bryant kills it as much as he does. You know, he follows things like personality tests. He studies the human being.
Yes, it's
You know what I
huge.
mean? And it's like he'll tell you as soon as a homeowner opens the door, within the first 10 seconds, he knows what type of person he's talking to. He knows if it's a person that wants to get right down to the point.
Yeah.
You know, do they want to talk about something different before we get down to business and
Yep.
actually talk about this? Is this somebody that doesn't really care what you put on their roof as long as you don't leave nails on the ground?
Right.
You know, as long as you don't mess their flower beds up, as long, you know what I mean? Like you said, every person is different, and listening to that person allows us to provide the best customer experience possible, because that's what it is at
and,
the end
and
of the day.
alleviate the pain. We
Right.
touched on that. If they're reaching out to us, no matter if we're if we're reaching out to them, say door knocking, or if they're reaching out to us via the phone, email, they've got pain of some kind. Be it they got a leak, or they're looking to sell their house and they're told by the realtor, or they're told by the other family that wants to purchase their house they need to replace their roof, or they want to get a different shade of blue on our house as far as siding goes. It doesn't matter, but really what it comes down to is a simple standpoint that they have pain, and we're here to help them alleviate that pain. That's really what we're trying to do.
That's good stuff. That is good stuff, man. I'm grateful to hear you say that, and that's why we know you're going to be a good fit, because of your background and your core beliefs, and where you came from. Plus not just the car business and the Audi business, but your roofing, siding, gutter, window experience that you've had, and you've brought a lot of great things to the table and helped fine tune our system, and helping to fine tune our system moving forward, and I appreciate your help jumping in, just so you know that, and I know Lauren appreciates it too, that you're not like, well, put me on the street, guys, come on, let put me in, coach, put me in, coach. You're kind of just chill. You're like, look, I see great things, this is what I can do to help, and you kind of just jumped in, not in an arrogant way, not in a matter-of-fact kind of way, just like, yo, where can I help?
Because we're a team. We're a team. We're a team.
Yeah.
And I think you stressed on it a little bit in the sales meeting we had last week. Was we're only as strong as our weakest link. So let's ensure that our quote unquote weakest link would be like the best on any other team. That's basically what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah, and I think that you'll agree with me, and I think Audi is a really good thing to kind of bounce off this. It doesn't matter if you buy a $140,000 Audi or you buy the bottom line $25,000-$30,000 Audi. I bet you that customer experience is the same.
It is.
You know what I mean?
It should be.
They should feel like they just bought that $130,000 Audi.
If
you know what I mean?
If you've got 4 rings on the front of that vehicle,
right,
that is
the customer experience should be the same. So if
we
we go out and the 15 shingles that we're missing on the roof, if we go out and just repair those, that customer experience should be the same as if we would have went out and put brand new siding, brand new gutters, brand new roof on that house with a gold pledge.
To stack on top of that ideal is, rest assured, when the homeowner sees that crest is on the front of the shirt of the person that's talking to them about their roof, it's basically, it doesn't matter if we're talking about replacing 1 or 2 shingles, or if we're looking to replace 50 square off their brand new mansion that they just built. It doesn't matter. It's going to have the same exact white glove treatment.
Absolutely, man. That's exactly what we're striving for, man. That's good stuff.
They're practicing what we're preaching, man.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? All the stuff that you've been preaching, and the things that you've been trying to push, and the stuff that didn't quite make sense 2 years ago as to why you're saying all these things and why we're doing these things, why are we making these moves. On the outside looking in, it might not have made so much sense, but like sitting down and hearing all the things that go on in our meetings, and hearing all the people talk from all the different areas of our company, I've had so many aha and light bulb moments over the past 18 months. It's like, this is like, people are really, really understanding now. Like, people are really getting it, and everyone's kind of moving in the same direction, like a machine now. So, that's important.
When other people's values align to, like, okay, so that attracts people too.
Right.
So, like, Bucky and Ben here, they came already to the table with a cup of Kool-Aid. You know what I mean? Like, they've been drinking that shit for a minute already.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
man.
so because it attracted.
Right.
We're attracting those types of people today as well, because they see, like you said, from the outside looking in, they're getting it. They're like, yo, I want to be a part of that, because the asshole that I used to work for is a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
And doesn't care. He's about ripping me off, and he's about ripping the homeowners off.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And I'm not saying anyone in particular, because I'm sure the last place you came from didn't sound like that sounded very well either, and there was nowhere else to go. That was the end all to be all.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And not that they were an asshole, or not that the person that you worked for was an asshole, but we know he's an asshole. I'm just sorry. I'm kidding. I didn't say that. I didn't really mean to say that. I don't even know who the hell the guy was. But All right, rewind that.
Cut that out.
Cut that out too.
I'm just
cut
kidding.
that out too.
I'm just kidding.
Just kidding.
I haven't said anything negative for a minute. For a long time. But anyhow, Shane DeGarry. No, I'm just kidding. I don't want to go off on that. God bless him too. You know,
You on a roll tonight?
I
You on a
am.
roll?
I can't help it.
Just stop
Well,
that
it's
train.
Ben, because look at this dude. Look, I don't have to worry about shit.
I know, right?
Okay, look,
I'm
this
in
dude,
jacked.
I'm serious. Jesus Christ, dude. Like,
I think he was
here
a
till
bouncer.
Thursday,
Well,
tried
I
the
throw it
deal.
out of check.
what the hell?
His skin's
Listen,
falling over his sleeve. That
look,
shit's so tight,
listen,
man.
dude. I think we should open up another freaking. Bring the Chip and Dale back. I'll put your.
Medium.
Listen,
The
Medium.
listen.
He's like, I'm on show tonight. I'm wearing my schmedium.
I will,
Medium, bro.
I will pimp your ass out. We should start like a Chip and Dale.
I'm good. I'm good, bro.
Are you sure? Really? Because, dude, I'm telling you, we could probably make a lot of money doing that.
Yeah,
shit.
listen. The point is, we as in-home care specialists, you guys should be marketing yourself, and that might be your thing. You know,
Yeah.
we had a beer guy that worked for us for a little while
Yeah,
there.
man,
you know,
we're the beer guy.
Yeah,
Well,
you know,
it-
and we
well,
got
I
the
miss
Chip and
it.
Dale.
We
Yeah,
talk a
Chip
lot
Arm
about
Bandit,
the
like,
things
Yes.
in
got
our
them all.
industry and what we do basically,
Yes.
but it comes down to the science of quote unquote sales.
Right.
You basically live off your first impression. So your first impression is within 10 seconds of meeting somebody,
Yeah.
whether that's face to face or via phone. That is up to us. It smiles, how you dress, how you present yourself. What if you have a set appointment, actually showing up on time, if not maybe a little bit early, things like that go a long way
Yeah.
with first impression, because if you start off on the first impression, that road is very easy to go down and navigate with that homeowner,
Yeah.
to, creating that
Yeah,
relationship.
you screw that first 10 seconds up, man. It's real hard to
Yeah.
recover. from
Exactly,
that.
exactly.
It's really hard to recover.
I
from
think
that.
when I get home, Janet's gonna probably beat my ass.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I think she
You trying to come over and hang out, man?
Yeah, maybe.
What you doing, man?
Yo, is Tina feeling any better?
Yeah, I got an extra room.
All right, man. Thanks, bro. Sorry.
Jan said you can knock out and play with your friends for at least a
No,
week.
right? Hey, listen. Next week is episode 104. Can I please come?
Yes, man, we really need him.
Right?
No, man. So that's awesome. So, just to talk a little bit, we talked a little bit about the door knocking and you know the experience that
Yes.
you've had.
Yep.
I know that you haven't sold to every homeowner that you knocked on their door.
No.
You know what's
Not
some
even close.
what's some of the objections that you're hearing? Like if somebody doesn't really want to hear what you have to say, like what's just give me like an example. What's some objections you're hearing?
I don't know that it's really objections to the work. Sometimes it's just objections to there are people who are really personal about their space. You know, I had like a lady who was okay with me getting on a roof, but she was a little older, and she was very particular about who she let into her home for her own protection.
Yeah.
Right. And for that reason, she didn't want to let me inside so I could inspect the attic space and see if she was getting proper ventilation so that I could complete what I was looking for to tell her what I thought, right? As far as a repair would go or a full replacement would go. And in the end, that was the line in the sand was, unless my son's home, no strangers can come inside. And I tried my best to do what I could from outside. There's workarounds there, and I've had follow-up conversations, you know what I mean? But as far as like when I first walk up and knock on the door, the two major ones are either kind of like, who are you? Why are you on my property? That's a pretty hard one to get around. You know, there's ways around it, but you can tell, again, in that first 10 seconds of if the man opens the door and he's, looks like this guy,
That's what I was
looks
just
like this
thinking.
guy, looks like this guy. How can I help you? You know?
Yeah,
and I immediately, first thing I'm going to do is take that step back down off your porch, right? Hey, you have some missing shingles. You want to come out here and look at it with me?
Yes.
You know?
Right.
And the other thing is time restraints. You know, I'm on my way to go pick up my son from school, or I'm on my way to my son's soccer game or my daughter's volleyball game. And but again, there's ways around that. It's just, oh, hey, by the way, I just noticed that X, Y, and Z are a little wrong with your home, and I was just wondering if you needed to talk about that, or if you would like to talk about that and see what kind of services we offer. And I won't take any more of your time. Here's my business card. Please call me when you're free. And there's been ones where 3 weeks go by, and then all of a sudden I get a ring, and I'm like, who is this?
Yeah.
And, she's like,
Yeah.
Miss Blah, 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 blah from wherever. And I'm like, oh, hey, how are you doing?
Yeah.
And I think it's really, I think kind of the key there is that when I knocked on the door and I talked to them, I did listen. I actually cared, so I remember who that person is. when they call me back after 3 weeks, only meeting for 5 minutes, and I'm like, oh yeah, you're the lady from Jackson Street. You had that nice blue dress on. You're on your way to go out to dinner with your husband. And she's like, oh my gosh, you remember that? And I'm like, yeah, well, of course. But I stopped and knocked on your door because I care. I wasn't just knocking on every door. I just happened to be driving down your street. I saw that your roof was blowing off.
Yeah.
And I thought they might need some help.
Yes.
And I mean, that's about it for me.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome, man.
That's
awesome.
good stuff, man. In such a short period of time, you know what I mean? And being a caring person that
Yeah.
wants to help,
Right.
you know what I mean? It's a perfect recipe for
Yeah.
success.
He's a
for
sponge,
them.
man.
Yeah, for them.
really is a
and you.
sponge.
Yeah, it's good stuff, man. You know what I mean? Because, you have a lot to offer somebody. You're a great father. We all know that, you bust your ass on a daily basis. You're one of the first people here in the morning, and definitely one to leave, one of the last to leave, even though you may not be here. And like I talk about this with him, even though sometimes you're not physically here, but you're still the last one clocking out at 9:30 when
Yeah.
you're finally closing that laptop up
Right.
to make sure what you promise someone, they're going to receive that.
Absolutely.
You know, that
I'm big about
promise.
say what you're going to do and do what you're going to say.
Yes, exactly. I was trying.
However
Yeah,
you
yep.
say
Yeah,
it.
I know
Yeah.
what you mean. I don't know. I always screw that up too,
you
dude.
Sure, but yeah.
But I
say what you're
I
going
know
to
what
do.
you mean.
Yeah.
And do what you said. Whatever. it is.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing.
But
yeah.
it's that's so it really it just comes down to I feel like the four of us, five of us
Yes.
with Victorino sitting back here, and however many there are in our actual TC Backer family, I feel like we're all running off of the same set of core principle beliefs that we're trying to apply on the daily,
Yeah.
and actually intertwine those principles into the way that we act.
It's the yellow bulls, man.
And that's it.
Everyone's
And you know
sipping
what
the
I mean?
same
I think,
thing.
I think that's the recipe for success. I
Yeah.
think it really is. The fact that we have 30 people who all have these same core beliefs that we're trying to practice them in the way that we act and treat people every day.
Yeah.
That's making it. It's blowing up now, and I think it's only going
Yeah.
to get bigger.
Oh, heck
And
yeah.
dude, it took 2-3 years for us to really weed out all the people that weren't on that same page. And
Right.
and we touched on it, I think either last week or the week before that. It is okay to have people in your workspace that aren't on the same page. You know what I mean? And it's okay to make that decision and help them find where they do fit in. It may not be
Right.
with your company, and that's
Right.
okay, because
Yeah,
not
absolutely.
everyone is going to fit in here.
Yes. Right.
Not everyone is going to care about the same things that we care
No.
about.
Exactly.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's the
and
point.
that's okay.
Yeah.
It is okay because they're probably going to be a rock star somewhere else for
Right.
someone else.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's like you have to figure that out, and you have to figure out what's important to us,
Yes.
what our core values are, and what's important to us,
Right.
and then surround yourself with a bunch of people that believe the same shit.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
There's two things at play here too. So we touched on it a little bit earlier. We're attracting better quality of people. Okay. And then the second or first part of that is the hiring process takes a lot longer than just interviewing someone the first time and hiring them on the spot. Okay. There's like this little process that I kind of came up with in my mind, where it may take 3, sometimes 4 interviews, over a period, and it could take a month. Do you know what I'm saying? And the thing is, it's like, okay, after the second time, if the third time they don't show up to that appointment for that interview, then okay, got it.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? But if they do show up, that's a good thing. Okay?
Right.
And then by the 4th time, and the reason why I've started to kind of do that is, and believe me, this recently just started, okay, is because the first time you meet somebody, they're uptight. Do you know what I mean? They're a little nervous. You're not really seeing who that person for who they are yet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But usually I can kind of open people up, but I try not to like show them like, I don't want them to feel too loose yet. By the, you know what I mean? I want to see what I'm dealing with on, okay, especially for what position it is that I'm hiring them for. Like if we're hiring for a position where they need to answer the phone, I need to see how nervous they are. I can't loosen them up by dropping the F-bomb. Because no sooner you drop a curse word, right there, that kind of just, right away, you kind of just feel like that sigh of relief. Like, okay, I'm not dealing with
Right.
stick in the mud,
Right.
butthead boss right now. Okay, so I try to hold off on those things. By the second time, you know, they'll dress differently. You'll notice, like the first time they come in, they got their high heels on, or they're built like a brick shit house.
How's that changing?
I don't know, but you didn't look like that earlier, man. Like, what the hell? Okay?
You said you did not wear those muscles today.
No, I did. Where the hell? Like, where the hell did
He had them suckers wrapped up, dude.
It is.
My
Look at this
God.
thing. Swim in this thing.
Jeepers creepers. You know, but they'll dress a little more comfortable because they
Right.
got a feel for us too.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? They'll walk in,
Absolutely.
they notice people are kind of dressed casual, you know, and then if they show up by the third time, then, you know, not that I'm not explaining to them like what we do and what we're about, because really what I'm looking for is right now, and this is the God's honest truth, I'm looking for who are you? Who are you?
Right.
Yes, your credentials are good. You know, I hope you can turn a computer on. Do you know what I mean? Of course.
Right.
You know what I mean? And those skills matter. They do. They really do. But our system is different than anything else. So you need to be trained in that system. Okay, but I can't train you to have ethics.
No.
Do you know what I mean? I can't train you to have integrity. I can't train you to fit in our culture. Those are things that we can't train. And we've talked about this numerous times. And it's taken me a minute to like figure out like what it is exactly
How do
that
you
I'm looking
find that
for.
in somebody?
Yeah.
Right.
What questions am I going to ask? What am I looking for each time they come back? And if they don't come back the third time, you know what? Cool.
Yep.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you for not coming
Save a lot
back.
of heartache.
You know what I mean? Because the last time I hired someone on the spot, which I did in between this methodology that I'm talking about that I have, that I think I'm on
That
to.
shit ain't work out.
No, it did not. It did not. But because of our culture, you know what we did? We did something a little bit different. We gave them a 2-week notice before their 90 days. 2 weeks prior to their 90 days. Because I didn't want to just kick somebody to the curb.
Yeah.
But they didn't fit.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They just didn't fit. They didn't fit the culture. Okay,
Yeah.
so we gave them a 2-week notice. Like, look, we're sorry. It just doesn't seem to be working out.
Right.
You know, there wasn't a whole lot that needed to be said. Do you know what I mean? Other than the fact that you're not a good fit here.
Yep.
You know, you're great. We will give you a letter of recommendation because you touched on it earlier. They may excel someplace else.
Right.
You know, and be their rock star. And they were good at what they did, but there was just certain qualities that didn't fit our culture. And what happened was I knew we were going to the IRE in Vegas. And I knew if I didn't hire someone right there and then, okay, I would be gone for a week, interview someone when I got back. That would be 2 more weeks before they could start. That was a 3-week thing. And at that point in time, we knew we needed somebody. We needed somebody. So I did a knee-jerk reaction, okay, and made a mistake.
Yeah.
You know, but I learned from it. It just
As long as you learn from it.
reaffirmed with me that, no, stick to the process.
Right.
Stick to the process. You know what I'm saying? And it's worked. You know what I mean? It really has worked. And I'm happy that we're all able to grow and figure things out. And,
Me too.
And it's just a real cool place, at least for me.
man.
And I know for you guys,
Yeah.
you know, some of this is new, but it's exciting and it's fun and it's fresh. And I'm having a freaking good time.
Yeah, man.
You know
It's
what I
crazy.
mean? Like, I really am having a good time, man. So, not just tonight, but most days I'm having a good time. Like, I
Yeah.
still love this.
Yeah. That's
You know,
important.
and it's because of you guys, for real. It's the people that we've surrounded ourselves around that our core values are the same.
Right.
You know, and it's good stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so
Absolutely.
Anyhow, where are we at here? We're at 1 hour and 2 minutes already.
An hour and 2
God
minutes.
damn, Ben.
Sorry.
You talk a lot.
Man, you do talk a lot.
Jeepers creepers.
My apologies.
Look at those muscles. Give us some muscles.
So let's talk about the home show coming up.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
We're getting ready for that.
Yeah, we got 2 more things
Yeah,
we got to
right.
touch on
Yes.
before we end today.
Touch on them.
The
Ben,
home show.
Catlin, and his big muscles. We forgot. I'm just kidding.
We'll be at the home show February 11th through the 13th.
Yes.
That's down at the York Fairgrounds. I forget what it's called now. The whatever arena.
Something arena.
It's York
Yeah.
Expo.
Yeah, no, but they gave it like
It's
a.
got a name.
Is it
It's someone
it's-
bought the sponsorship. I
Oh,
don't know
really?
what-
It's not us
It's
anymore?
not cool. It's not a cool name either. It's
Oh.
It used to be. It's
Yeah,
not.
it's not anymore.
It's the York
something.
Expo Center down at the
Yeah.
fairgrounds.
So we're going to be down there. We'll have a really big presence down there.
Yes.
We're going to try to figure out how we're going to knock it out of the park more than we did last year and the year before
Absolutely.
that. It's getting harder and harder because I think we kind of started off
Keep on
our very
one-upping
first
ourselves
year
every year.
was
No,
out
no,
of
no,
control
no.
big.
Listen, we got Ben.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not going to be harder this year.
Yeah. He's going to show up in an Audi.
Look at this
or
dude
something.
back.
Look at his
You know what I'm saying? We got Ben. He'll carry us there. He will carry us to the finish line.
No.
You know?
This is not ever going to stop.
Just for show, not for go. I didn't do anything.
Really? Is that what that is? Okay.
They're squishy, he said. He said they're squishy. So we got that. And then I believe it's the very next week, yes. And the following week, we're going to
Yep.
be at the 2022 Adams County Home Show.
Yep.
And that's the Builders Association of Adams County. That's going to be Friday, February 18th through Saturday, February 19th. We'll see you guys all there. If anyone has any kind of questions or wants to participate, wants to come out and check us out, we got 1,000 tickets for free that we're
Yes,
giving out. So
yes,
reach out to someone from the TC Backer family. We got plenty of tickets here.
Yeah, everybody
come out
should
and check
have
us
some
out.
to hand them out. So if you
Yeah.
guys don't at work, get some from somewhere. I put a stack on the counter out front there. I don't know if there's still some there, but if we need some. Anyone driving by the Dover area on Canal Road that wants to go to the home show, by all means, stop into the shop, grab some free tickets, grab as many as you want, give them to your friends, give them to your families, your neighbors, or whatever. Anybody that you may think that might be interested in getting some landscaping done, so a new bathroom, a new roof, or whatever. There's going to be all kinds of people
Yeah,
at this
all
trade
kinds
show.
of vendors.
I mean, and Workforce Now is going to be there. So there's 2 schools that are going to be there. One's building a shed that I believe they're selling or auctioning off, and the other one's building a chicken coop. And before we forget, we are also doing our greenhouses again this year. So if you didn't have an opportunity of bidding or buying one of our greenhouses, you have another opportunity this year to participate in the auction of the greenhouses. That all proceeds will be going to the Workforce Now program, which is what?
The Workforce Now program is a really awesome program that is sponsored by the York Builders Association. And basically what they do, they are about educating the young people that are in high school. I think it starts in high school.
Yeah. Yep.
That you don't have to go to get a 4-year degree to be successful. It's educating people about the trades, getting the young force into the trades, because I think the average carpenter or electrician or whatever is over 50 years old.
Yep,
So there's a
55.
really big gap in the availability of the workforce. You know, when guys are going to start retiring here in the next 10 years, there's not going to be a lot of people to fill those shoes. So we need some young bucks, some up and comers to be filling those roles. So
Absolutely.
that's what the Workforce Now is about. It's a really awesome program. We preach it all the time, and we
is.
really support it.
And
so.
and the people who are powering it is the York Builders Association,
Right.
which is a local company. All of it is local. They're going to high schools and stuff like that. Us trades that are members of the York Builders Association are going to their schools. They're hosting like a project day and allowing the kids to get their hands dirty a little bit and stuff like that. It's a really cool program. Shona from White Rose Settlement, I believe she was one of the founding members of it, who's also still. So big shout out to White Rose Settlement. I mean, she does. I mean, so much for York County and York Builders Association. Big shout out to you. I had a YBA meeting tonight, and someone had mentioned that she was one of the founding members of, or was the president of.
The Workforce Now.
Of the York Builders
York
Association
Builders
at that
Association,
time
yeah.
when that all
Gotcha,
came to
okay.
fruition, Workforce Now program. So big shout out to her and everybody at York Builders Association. It's such a great thing that they do there. So Workforce Now, come check us out. We're going to auction off the greenhouses for a good cause. We're going to have a couple other little knick-knack paddywhack things like we did last year to auction off, like a planter's box and some other things. I'm not exactly sure what that's going to be yet, but you got to come down and check it out. And I'm sure once those things start to get built and come to fruition, we'll start posting them online and on Facebook and stuff like that. So if nobody told Howie yet, like Howie needs to get moving here, okay?
Yeah.
So hurry
Yeah,
up,
because
Howie.
we got like a month and 2 weeks or something like that,
Yeah.
3 weeks
Yeah.
to get this all done.
Probably close to 6 weeks, 6, 8, 7.
Yeah,
six-
it is coming fast.
Yeah, it's too quick because you figure we got the holidays. Nothing's going to probably happen in between there. So realistically, we got to get a lumber package together, figure out the design of what the greenhouses are going to look like, and as soon as we know what that is, we'll start posting it. That way, people can start getting an idea of what size it is, so they can fit it in their backyard. And we'll deliver it within, for free within a certain mile radius, and we'll post all of that later. So anyhow, thank you for your time tonight.
Yeah, we got one more
thank
thing.
you.
Oh
We got
yeah,
one
what's
more
the other thing?
So
I won't say
the cat is going to come out of the bag here. Vic, you were wondering what we were talking about with this $100 $100 dinner thing. So
$100 dinner, what's that?
I've been following this guy. I don't know. I wish I could remember his name, but there's a guy out there somewhere in the United States of America that started this thing called the $100 dinner that he does pretty frequently. I think he does it like monthly or something like that. Him and a bunch of his colleagues get together, friends in a community. They get about 40 people together. They all go out to dinner and they all bring $100. Okay, they go out and they have a meal that is usually nowhere near $100 a person, and they tip whoever the person is, the waitress, all the money. So usually it's a $1,500, $2,000, $3,000 tip, and change somebody's life for Christmas. So we're trying to get a bunch of people together that want to participate in this.
Stuff,
Everyone
right?
brings $100. And let's go out somewhere in York, man, and number one, let's have a great time.
Yes.
Let's eat a
First
meal
and
together as a group, and
Yes.
let's change someone's life before Christmas.
Yeah, man, that's going to be life changing. So this was like something Chris brought to my attention this morning. I'm like, yo, dude, we have to do this before Christmas.
Absolutely.
So this is a last minute thing. It just came to mind today. So anyone that wants to come with us, figure it out. I talked to John Stauffer and Mark Jones about it. John did hear about it. So what he believes they did is they call a restaurant and ask, hey, which waitress would be in the most, waiter, waitress, which person on your staff would be most in need of something like this to happen.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we'll have to call around, figure out
Set it up
which
discreetly.
restaurant can accommodate. First
We need
and
number
foremost.
one also make sure that they don't split tips too.
Yes.
Because we want to make sure that we're not. It's much more impactful if we can hand one wad of cash to one person instead
Yeah.
of everyone getting $100. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's working in the restaurant. So
Not that they don't earn it, but or
Right.
whatever. But we really want to make an impact.
yeah.
Right.
And
And
change.
this could honestly
Yes.
turn into something that we do. Hopefully we get enough people together that we got to do this in 3 different groups and we do it once a month.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
There's enough people around here, and this is the kind of stuff that like really instills change.
Yeah, man.
And like I was telling Ty earlier, that. Let's just say they get a $1,500 tip, okay? That $1,500 isn't going to like necessarily change their life for the rest of their life, but what it's going to do, it's going to instill in them the good in humans,
Yes.
the pay it forward gene,
Yes.
and just let people know that the strangers out here give a shit about
Yes.
me right now. You know
And
what I
then
mean?
the
Like,
ripple
that's-
effect of
Right.
the other people in the restaurant, and like Chris was saying, that there is humanity in the world today.
Yeah.
So the ripple effect, not just for that individual, but everyone in the restaurant that gets to witness
Yeah.
that, and what's that going to do for them?
Right, and it alleviates a lot of stress for that individual
Yes.
person too, which will bleed into
A struggling
their
mother, a
coworkers.
struggling father,
Absolutely.
whatever, whoever,
Right.
Yeah. Well, think about this. Us sitting here talking about it is a ripple effect of this other guy doing it.
For real.
And we weren't even in the
That's what I'm
restaurant.
saying.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
The ripple effect is exponential as far as we know.
Right.
Let's
Yeah.
keep it up.
Yeah. For sure. So
Yeah, so anyone that's out there that is interested in doing this, that wants to participate, come out and have a meal with the TC Backer family.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Let's change someone's life. At least change someone's holiday.
Yep.
My ideal situation, we get someone that didn't know how they were going to provide Christmas for their kids, or,
Right. Yep.
or didn't know how, weren't going to pay a bill this month because they needed to get Christmas presents or something like that. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
man.
Like let's just do something great over
Yeah,
the
so
holidays.
this is going to have to happen next week, early next week. Unfortunately, I know a group of us are busy Saturday. I don't care if it's Sunday. I don't care if it's Monday night. I don't care if it's Tuesday night. But
I'll make it happen
obviously,
any
the
day.
sooner the
We'll make
better.
it happen.
To give someone enough time to get their legs underneath them and figure out what they got to do and what they can do with the money or whatever.
Yeah.
So, especially for if it's towards Christmas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Give them that chance.
agree.
Give them that fighting chance to maybe make Christmas for their family. So,
Right.
I'm all about it, dude. Like
Yeah,
it had
I'm so
goosebumps,
into
dude.
it.
We were both like, dude,
Yeah, let's do
dude.
this.
Like,
Let's
I mean,
do this.
yeah, like
Yeah.
that was like
I'm
the
dressed
greatest.
up right now.
Yeah, man. Good stuff. So, thank you
Yeah,
guys
so
for your
thank
time.
you everyone for
everyone.
watching.
Yep.
Make
Thanks,
sure
Victorino.
you guys tune in next week. for episode
Russ.
104, the exact 2-year anniversary from the start of this thing.
Yes.
Next week.
That's
next
next week,
Wednesday.
by the
Yes.
Next
way.
week.
Next week. Next
Not,
week.
not
forget.
last week.
Yes. And if anyone needs any kind of dieting or working out tips, hit up my man Ben over here.
Yeah,
Ben.
Ben.
I'm just kidding.
Have a good night.
Everyone have a good night.
Before we go,
Yes,
Janice says she's coming next week.
I know.
Jana Banana.
Yeah.
You put it on the Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
true.
got to happen now.
It's real now.
Yeah, so.
It's real.
Yep.
See what
Hey.
you did?
Hey, no.
Boss is coming.
Yep. Do
Boss
it.
is coming
boss is
now.
coming.
Bring
Uh-huh.
it. Bring it. Hey,
Yes, I hope she does, man. I
we'll
hope
put
she
her in
does.
a medium shirt and so she can show her muscles off too.
Absolutely.
You know?
Let's do it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Everyone have a good rest of your week. We'll see everyone next week, next Wednesday, 7
Absolutely.
p.m.
Yes.
And hopefully we'll get to talk about and maybe have some footage that we can play of whoever we blessed at this dinner.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Everyone stay warm. We'll see you guys next week.
See ya.